Yes.
Greetings, dear ladies and gentlemen, to the Régi Vitézeknek special edition show. This part of Régi Vitézeknek, what could be translated to for ancient warriors. That is the title of our show, of our little podcast. It will be on English language because of our dear guest, whose name is David Stribini. Am I got it right?
Yeah, it's quite close.
So, on the studio, there are our editor, Benedek Hézser.
Hi.
Our guest, David Stribini. Say hello to our viewers.
Hello. Thank you very much for the invitation.
And myself, János Mesterlér. So with David, we will gonna talk about lots of interesting topics. I think most of our viewers already knows him and knows the major part of his works. And after our signal, we will start it.
A Szent Háromságnak kinek imádkoznak, Krisztus másod személye. Régi vitézeknek, roppant seregeknek, győzhetetlen Istene. De hozzád kiáltok, kint katonát vagyok, vigy kérlek vitézségre.
So, my first question is, why are you David Stribini? Why you are Tomáš Vlasatý?
I need to tell in the first to answer this. I need to tell you that my civil name is Tomáš Vlasatý. That's my official name that I have on my documents and papers. I use David Stribini since 2014 as my artistic alter ego. You know, a lot of artists have their alter egos, painters, writers, and I myself consider as a writer, a poem writer, a novel writer. So originally this name was reserved for this type of activities, for writing, and then I realized it's already too late for creating a second Facebook account. So I basically merged two accounts into one, and it's true that I could change the name right now, but I still think it's I still need to wait maybe a year or so, and then I will change it.
All right. Thank you. So basically, you are. I can say that you are quite a talented man and have lots of nice and good projects. You are part of the team Marobud. You are the administrator and creator of Doba, vikinská, Viking Age Facebook page.
Yeah.
And of course, maybe one of the most important and one of the projects that has the biggest impact is the Projekt Forlåg, the Sagi Vikingové page. Sorry for my bad pronunciation.
No problem. Sorry for having this strange name. Yeah.
All right. So about your projects. Before we start to talk about all of these, I would like to ask to tell us more about yourself. Tell us about how and when you came across with the activity of reenactment. What was your first impressions and how you started
Or-
your reenactment
and-
career.
Yes, and of course, at the end, is it reenactment that you are doing now, or is it something more or something different? How you call it?
Thank you very much for an interesting question. A lot of people ask me about my job and about the project, but nobody really asked me about myself. So this is thank you for an interesting question. I personally consider myself a person that is a curious. I try to stay humble. I am not an academic. I've never finished my university degree. So I'm
What have you studied?
I studied Danish and general history, but I never finished them.
Mhm.
So even though I can speak Danish, or I read Danish and Norwegian, Swedish, I never got a degree. A lot of people consider me an archaeologist, but I'm not an archaeologist. I never
I know this
studied
feeling.
archaeology. This is just I'm just doing this from my curiosity. In the past, especially as a child, I was creating my own stories, and I think this is the most important of my personality, because when a person in 2004 approached me and told me, hey, this is something like Viking Age reenactment, come with me and join and try it with me, I accepted the idea very quickly, and I made it a part of me. Until 2012, I was basically studying sagas. Yeah, all the time I was reading sagas, and I was quite curious, because all the people in the reenactment were deeply interested in material culture, but nobody studied, the word of Icelandic sagas, and
Yes.
only a few of them were translated into Czech. So I started to translate them on my own into Czech, which was quite interesting at that time, because I was like 16 years old. Yeah. And after translating Vikinská saga, the saga of Vikings, and Landnámabók, which is the book of settlements, quite a huge book, I decided to create the website you can visit now, and that is why it was called Sagi Vikingové, which means sagas.vikings.cz. In 2014, I changed the way of looking and started to be more focused on the physical material culture, which is what you probably guys know,
Yes.
because
Mhm.
that is what you can read and see. At the moment, from 2020, I'm a full-time reenactor, writing about Viking period and basically early medieval projects. I'm also, because as I'm independent, I'm co-working with various museums that want my help, and basically I'm charging them for the help. So I'm not only, a lot of my income at the moment is coming from the sponsors, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I also sell some books, so I'm a book seller, which is also a part of personality of me. and also I'm trying to be a researcher, independent researcher. But again, I've never studied or I've never finished a degree, so I'm not an expert. I'm just a curious person, deeply interested in various topics.
And what can you tell about yourself in the case that you are writing some kind of articles which are really like the academic articles, but the words in and the sentences and how you speak about the things or how you write about the things, it's much more like that the blogs language. So I think that's why I really like it, because it's very easy to read, but it has got many informations, which it's a little bit like the academic articles.
Thank you for this.
What is your goal about this?
Basically, that was my goal, to create something that is easily translatable to another languages, still have the potential, the academic potential, but it can communicate with reenactors, because honestly, most of reenactors are not educated people, at least in my country. People who are interested in Viking period are metalheads, especially metalheads, people who barely finished their secondary school. So it's not possible to flood them with information, academic information. You need a degree, or you need a very good memory, or you need to be a slightly educated person to be able to read academic works, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
that was not the way I was going to repeat. I just invented my own way how to communicate with this kind of people. So, and what is more, that I think I'm quite glad that you noticed, they are easy to read, and they are not only easy to read, but they are easy to translate. Yeah, so you can easily put them into Google Translate and understand the meaning. Or for me, it's easier to make the translations, which makes my work much more easier, because I'm able, once I have my text done, in the Czech language, it's quite, it's the matter of hours when I'm able to finish the English version of it.
Yes.
So it's a strategy. It's done on purpose, and it tries to combine the archaeological structure and information into a different style of communication. But on the other hand, it has its own critics, and believe me, especially few years ago, like 5 years ago, there was a huge struggle between professional archaeologists and me, because they were quite aggressive about the fact that I'm writing so fast, and they were looking for mistakes. I'm not sure why.
That was what I would like to ask from you. That what was the feedback? What were the feedback about your articles?
From the academic point of view, I think it was quite acceptive. I think supportive.
So cool.
From there were like 2 archaeologists that are part of early medieval community that were quite offended by the style of writing. One of them is a huge critic all the time since since now, and I think early medieval community gave me the best possible feedback I could get, because there is no other website like this, or maybe there is the project done by archers in England, but it's focused on the English soil, and I still think there are some gaps. So because of the absence of this style, it was very well received in the community.
Yes, my thoughts about these things what you said, that of course reenactors are kind of metalhead. It's a worldwide phenomenon, I think, and maybe the most important
it's the same here.
most important thing that reenactors now need proper informations, but usually a book about archaeology or the fields where we can build up our stuff aren't focused as much to those kind of material culture what could be reconstructed. So if somebody have a book and read it about the topic, he still need to process the information what he can use as a reenactor from it. So this is what are you doing very, very good and nicely, and this is why are you helping a lot of the reenactment community, that you process these informations and give it to the reenactment communities.
Well. Yes, it's correct. And I think that these articles are a very good answer for the 21st century's child and the Z generation and something like this who would like to be a reenactor, but they will never read 3 or 5 books about this. They haven't got the time. They haven't got the feeling of it. So I think in the future, these kind of short articles, which contains many informations, will be the valuable sources of the reenactors, I think.
I think that too. I agree with Janos in the regard that, a lot of books contain information about sorry, I cannot pronounce the word in English, about dating, about layers found in the settlements, and you need to have an inner filter to find the information you need. And that's basically what I'm doing. I'm filtering all the information from many books and making overviews basically about organic finds, which is what is the most interesting part for us reenactors, because we want to use them physically on our own bodies.
Indeed.
Regarding this, I would like to ask you that what do you think about the historical accuracy regarding to the copies of these archaeological finds or something like this? Because I think there is a group of the reenactors, or there is a way in the reenactors who just always told that we have to copy the historical find, the exact historical finds or the exact grave finds. There is no place for hypotheses or something like this. Only what we can find is what we can get, and you have to make your character regarding to these stuffs. What do you think about this?
Okay.
Lots of people say this, but little do it.
That's important, but very hard question to answer.
Yeah, I know. I would personally advise that
if you are not able to study the whole group of objects to deeply understand them, just avoid mystification, hypothesis, your own ideas, and follow the finds. If you want to make something new, something made in your idea, you need to deeply study the topic especially for years, to understand them completely, to be able. A lot of objects are missing something, some parts. You need to be understand to fully understand them, to reconstruct them, to reconstruct the original look. For example, in case of a knife, it's very simple. It's the very easy task. But
Yes.
in case of decorative elements, like if am I able to use the Mamen or Ringerike style on this type of scabbard, with this type of sword pommel? You need to really study the topic for several years just to answer these questions, and then you need to be a professional. A professional designer, just to be able to design the design to design it properly. So I'm not against it. In general, I'm not against making your own ideas to come true, but you need to study it properly for a long time.
I agree. So back to the Projekt Forlåg. We can say that your project became some kind of a standard in international reenactment. Do you agree? Of course, not a big standard that everybody agrees about it and everybody reads you, but I think if I say that you have a big impact to the modern day reenactment worldwide community, I am not exaggerating. For example, if I'm right, your article about the shaft of the Danish axe made a pretty big impact, because Volin made it a standard, and because of Volin, the reenactors need to cut down their axes, and
So guys, you can see now that who is the guy behind this. You can find him. You can ask him.
Okay. Thank you for saying these kind words, but I don't feel myself in such a position. I'm very glad that you think I'm so. I had such a huge impact. Honestly, I can see how many people are visiting my website. So,
all right, tell us the numbers, please. Tell us the numbers.
On average, if I'm not posting any new article, it's around 400 or 600 a day.
Okay.
If I'm not posting, if I'm posting, it can be 2,000 a day.
All right.
Yeah, but it also consists of bots and so on. So you cannot trust these numbers. Yeah, I'm also able to see how many people are returning to the website. So I know it's about 1/4. Yeah, it's not that much. Yeah. actually, and then I can see how many minutes or how many seconds people spend on the website, and it's quite unmotivating stat, because I can see that people on average are spending around 80 seconds on the website, which is not that much, and around 80% of people leaves immediately and never returns. So I still think there is a huge gap between reenactors who want to study and are able to spend maybe even hours by studying the material, and there is on the other hand, there are a lot of people who are just browsing, finding a new information. Okay, never mind. A lot of text, no pictures, and leaves for good, never to return. So, and this is actually what we can see in the early medieval community as well. We have an elite core which attends, events for dozens of years, spends their time by research, buying a lot of books, as you can see here, 3 meters tall library, and of course these people are full-time reenactors or full-life reenactors. On the other hand, we have a lot of fighters that just enter the community, fighting 1 or 2 Volins, 1 or 2 battles a year, and then after 4 or 5 years disappear forever, and we will never see them again. So there is a huge gap between reenactors or reenactment and fighters, and I think, or I believe, it's maybe even impossible to find a way how to teach these fighters how to persuade them that true history is fascinating. It's a maybe impossible task to show them the authenticity, but still I think it's worth of trying. And what we can influence actually is the policy of big groups, which can affect these newbies or new guys, and then they can motivate them better. I believe it would be possible, but here comes the problem. The problem is that people in the community, I mean, the leaders of groups, are not professional managers. They are leaders because they founded the groups, or they are the oldest members of the groups, but they were never leaders in their professional lives, so they are not truly skilled in motivating people. And honestly, especially in Czech Republic, newbies are demotivated by leaders of groups, and that's the main way the main reason why they are leaving the community.
Yes, and I think the other problem is that if the group is big, for example, there is 20 person in the group or something like this, then only the leader is not enough to motivate the newbies. So they have to make some kind of system to get involved the newbies and get some feedbacks to them and motivate them and something like this. And yes, that's a really big this kind of management system in these teams. It's the same in Hungary. Yes, it's very, very same. But I think it's the same in Europe. So maybe.
Yeah.
And it's yes, it's a big question that what we would like to do with these fighters, if you say it, because maybe I feel that there is too much energy for them, for me to manage them or to motivate them, but at the end they just say that, okay, I understand, yes, it's very interesting, it seems, it looks nice, but I would like to fight. That's all. Give me a sword and I'll just go forward. So it's a very good. But I think because I usually use your articles to my team and send them to read it if it's connected with our I don't know, with our time period or something like this. So I think it's very important to be these kind of sites like yours to teach them or something like this.
Yeah. To return to this topic, I personally think that most teams fail in showing their members what are the possibilities in the community. Yeah, I mean, only a few teams, only a few groups go abroad.
Yes.
Especially here in Central Europe, I think, because people in the West, people in the North are used to travel to abroad, to attend a festival like Hastings or York or Mosgard or so. I think it's a case of a nationality or national personality, type of personality maybe. Maybe it's the something we bear from the past because we were surrounded by borders. We were not allowed to go abroad. That's why we are afraid of going abroad, and we cannot afford it. By the way, we don't know the foreign languages, but my point is that we cannot, for example, sail in the Czech Republic because we have no sea. There are many ships on Baltic, and we can row for a week, and it's an incredible experience that will definitely motivate you in the next years. So that's, for example, one of my goals to show people that there are many activities you can do in this hobby. And these activities can motivate you, to show you how splendid it is to reconstruct history. And I think personally that a lot of people are, a lot of teams are failing in this regard to show newbies, hey guys, there is a ship, let's go there. We can have fun for 1 week. Do you want to maybe learn something new like forging, iron smelting, forging, casting, and so on? Let's go there. Let's have fun. We can go to open air museum. We can rent the open air museum, show the visitors how we are fighting and how we are recreating the past, and we can be there for alone. I think these are the mistakes we are doing, and that's why people are not staying in the community for a long time, especially when people are too much focused on the fighting. This the biggest motivation for fighting reenactors is the victory on the battlefield.
Yes,
Yeah?
that's true.
And
That's true.
if you are winning all the fights, all the duels, if you are good enough, you can stay in the community for 10 years. Yeah, but then
But if you're not,
after 10 years, if you start at the period of maybe of your 20s, then you are 35 years old person with children, with a family, and then your approach changes. So my point is, you cannot win all the battles, and even if you are fighting for 15 years, then you are beaten by the new generation of fighters. So maybe that's not the best motivation to And
it's time to time it will burn you out from this because you feel that you because I think maybe you do it for example 3 or 5 years, you will be in all of the battles in Eastern Europe. I think if you can do it, all of the battles, and what comes after this? Nothing. Because I think that most of the Eastern Europe reenactors don't like the Western Europe fights. It's a little bit different, and they feel that it's how I can say it's not so hard. That is, I think, what mostly the Eastern European reenactors think about the Western fights. So after this, he won't go there because this is not so hard as in Eastern Europe. And what will be the next? Nothing. That's all. And you are burned out.
The next is Russia.
That is
go to motherfucking Russia, please.
That is most correct. My point also is that people in the community are not really well trained. I mean, how many groups there are in Hungary that train every week, at least 2 times for years? It's impossible. I know like 1 or 2 teams in the Czech Republic who train once a week.
Here.
Once a week. I mean, you have to train for years to be a skilled person or trained person with this kind of training.
Yes.
Or you can train 3 or 4 times a week, and then you can be quite a skilled fighter after 2-3 years. But most of people are not really interested in the fight. I mean, in getting better, and that's why they suck on the battlefield.
Yes.
And that's why they are leaving, because they are not winning. So this is
absolutely correct.
Never-ending circle, and the only way out of the circle is to leave the community. And I think the key role is lies on the groups to not to hire, or I'm not sure what other word should I use, to find participants or reenactors not only from the community of people interested in fight, but mostly outside this community. I mean, to recruit people who are interested in in history, in religious, in sailing, in crafts, not just fighters.
That's true.
I think this is a common problem, and it's a major problem in European reenactment, because, as you say, fighting is the only option in the lots of the teams, and we do not give them alternatives to the members.
Yeah, we don't we don't
Of
offer
course,
alternatives.
Myself,
I think
my group offer alternatives.
I think not just that.
But generally speaking, yes, I see this. All right.
For example,
I think it's not just that. It's a very big influence of the modern computer games.
Yeah.
Because what you can see in, for example, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you can fight. So, and it sounds funny, but that is a big influence for the people to start the Viking reenactment. And the other kind, the Vikings series and something like this, just because of the fight. Because for the 21st century person, the fight is a very mysterious thing, I think, because in our life we never fight. It's always peace in everywhere, so we don't know how it is, and if you can do it, it's very interesting. So I think it's another big influence, and what I would like to ask from you that what can you suggest for a rookie that how to start the reenactment if he or she would like to be historically accurate and would like to be motivated in the future also? What are you suggest for?
okay,
Read Projekt Forlåg.
that is, yeah, that was actually not the first thing I wanted to to suggest. Interesting question. Honestly, I think in every country there are like several dozens groups. Yeah, in Czech Republic there are around 40 or 50 teams. I'm not sure how about Hungary, but maybe there are the numbers can be comparable. I mean, 20 to 50 groups.
Yeah. For us.
Early medieval groups, not only fighting groups.
Yes.
So there are many possibilities, and from which you can choose, right? So the best is just to behave like if you are finding a job. Just make interviews with all the teams that made you curious. Find their approaches. Learn their personalities. Yeah, a lot of groups have their own kind of styles, style of humors.
Yes.
Not everybody is okay with it. Yeah, especially in our countries. I mean, in Central European countries, we like some kind of humor, which is black, which is dark, yes. And not everybody is okay with that. Yeah, especially if you are a girl that is 16 years old, is attracted by early medieval period, and then there is a bunch of guys around 30, around 30s, 40s, who are joking about death and especially of a kind of ethnicity. Yeah, it's quite inappropriate. Yeah. So my point is just ask all the groups that you found, make interviews, learn what their personality and kind of humor is, if you are if there is a kind of match or not. Also, I suggest to for example, to raise a question like how many, what is expected from me? How much money should I prepare? What should I buy for the first time and for the and the next and next and next? Will you give me advices where to buy? And every time, because many times in groups are not efficient enough to answer all the questions of newbies. So what you need to find is a group which is active, vital, and answers all the questions of newbies. And you can find or you can realize if the group is active or not after 1 month of conversations. So first of all, my suggestion would be just make interviews and find the group that you personally like the most. And then, of course, if the group is vital, then they will answer all your questions. They will help you with the literature, and they will probably help you to get abroad and find the activities you like the most. There are many activities. I personally like sailing the most because it was something that you cannot experience in the inland country.
Yeah.
And that will provide you such a deep experience that you want to continue in the future. And for me personally, the best experience is to go abroad and just talk with people. Also, what is good is to attend events that are not solely devoted into early medieval period, because there are many very good events devoted about prehistoric times, Roman times, Celtic times, late medieval times, and you can compare your approaches with what you can see at the other events. And unfortunately, the way early medieval events go is everything revolves around the battle, and they're leaving a very small portion of time and space for crafts. But if you go to a Celtic event or Roman event, then you will find much more crafts, and maybe that can inspire you to be more interested in crafts, for example, because you can see it personally on your own eyes how they are operating with the material and with the people. You basically discover a completely new world.
Mm-hmm. So newbies, these were the tips and tricks from Tomáš Vlasatý for you. But our show have to end because we have the time limit for our Régi Vitézeknek show. So we need to say goodbye for now. But I think there is a possibility that in the near future we will return with David, and we will have another podcast with him as well, because I think I have and Benny also have some more questions for him, so we will see.
Sure.
For now, thank you very much for your attention. This was the Régi Vitézeknek for Ancient Warriors special edition. In the studio there were Benedek Hézser, Tomáš Vlasatý, also
Thank
known
you for
as
having.
David.
Thank you for having me.
David Stribini. Oh, I got this wrong. I pronounced it wrong again. Yes, definitely. And me, I was János Mesterlér. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.
Thank you.